Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Why is everyone so reluctant to call this a bull market? There's several unbelievable things coming on, such as a gross domestic product that is much higher than we ever expected, that is really throwing people for a loop. The holiday shopping season looks very healthy, far healthier than what was expected. And we keep wondering when those lags caused by interest rate increases are going to come and tumble the economy down and ruin the stock market. Well, maybe it's never going to come. How about that? But first, hang on. The recession is coming. The recession is coming. We've been hearing that forever. It's been 18 months since they started raising interest rates. Where is the recession? The recession doesn't happen because the United States government has prevented it from happening. From all the acts they've passed, the CHIPS Act, the infrastructure bill, things like that, and all the military spending and supporting Ukraine, all that government spending is holding up the economy. And it's counter to what the Federal Reserve is doing. But the Federal Reserve has raised interest rates enough that they've calmed inflation down. In fact, we're in disinflation right now. The numbers coming out, I think, are going to be very good in November and in December. It's beginning to be the question, not if they're going to raise rates. It looks very unlikely they're going to raise rates. Now the debate is over how long do we have to wait before they start to cut rates. Other Fed presidents have been saying, they're going to keep fighting inflation, and they've been giving the standard line. But Fed President Waller came out and said, yeah, I think about cutting the interest rate by spring if inflation keeps coming down. This is exactly what the stock market wants to hear. People keep being amazed at the resiliency of the consumer. And it's because of the jobs. As long as people have jobs, they're going to keep spending money. And boy, have they been spending money. This has been the most successful Black Friday and the most successful Cyber Monday in Amazon's history. And other websites have reported the same thing. Adobe was noting that they had record traffic on Black Friday. So this is not conducive to a recession. If a recession is coming, it's a long ways off. The NASDAQ is up 36% so far this year. How do you not call this a bull market? The bears keep trying to tell us that recession is inevitable, and they keep trying to force the action. You have to play the ball where it lies. And Peter Lynch has pointed this out long ago, that waiting for a recession and basing your trading on that is usually a mistake because it can take a long time to materialize. You got to play the ball where it lands. Further proof of the lack of a recession warning anytime soon came with Thanksgiving travel. Thanksgiving air travel, the return travel on Sunday, the Sunday after Thanksgiving, was the most traveled air travel day in history. There were 2.9 million people screened at United States airports on the Sunday following Thanksgiving, which marks the highest air travel day ever in United States history. The biggest indicator that no recession is anywhere near, for a while anyway, came about with the report of the third quarter gross domestic product. It was predicted that it was going to come in at 4.9%, and people were just amazed at that. How is this even possible? People couldn't believe the 4.9%. When it came in at 5.2%. It just blew away everybody's expectations. Who would have believed that we would be over 5% gross domestic product when we're supposed to be on the edge of a recession? And there's events happening that are going to drive the stock market higher. One of them is Tesla is finally going to deliver some Cybertrucks. Now, I think the Cybertruck has been a production nightmare. We've been waiting forever for that truck to come off the line. I think it's so big and such a different design that it's been very difficult. For example, the length of the windshield wiper is the size of a small man, the length of a small man. So it's got some very unique production challenges. But I think it's going to be a sensation to the degree that they can produce them. It's going to be hard to scale up production, is what I'm hearing. So the effect of the Cybertruck won't take full effect for another year or two. But hey, we're used to waiting on the Cybertruck, aren't we? You know, the major companies that are part of the QQQ, which I invest in heavily and am constantly trading, I think artificial intelligence is going to propel these companies even higher. And you hear about Nvidia, and Nvidia I think is the central one simply because they do all the graphics. But I think Microsoft is probably a strong second place, if not an equal to Nvidia. And it's because they own a part of OpenAI. And OpenAI has either just discovered or on the verge of discovering artificial general intelligence, where it doesn't have to be programmed. It sort of programs itself to improve after being given the goal by a programmer. This has truly been a November to remember. $5 trillion have been added to stock share total value in November. Amazing. I finally settled down and decided that I'm just going to hold Nvidia, and it's made 19% in the last month. And Microsoft has done comparably well, as you'll see in this graph. As you can see, they have both done well in November, and Microsoft has made 15% during the month of November. I mean, these are the types of percentages that would be good for a year, and they're doing it in a month. And the question is, are we just in a short bull rally here that's going to end and blow up? That's what the bears keep telling us and keep making us afraid to invest. And that's why there's so much money sitting in money markets that really don't need to be sitting in money markets, because the Fed has already paused. If they pause one more time, that'll be 5 pauses in a row, and the Fed has never re-engaged in raising interest rates after pausing for 5 times. So happy days are here, I think. We just have to realize it. And we're looking at the graph of the Qs. The QQQ is the 100 largest companies on the NASDAQ. The TPLQ is the bullish leveraged fund that gives you $3 for each dollar that the QQQ goes up. So the TPLQ is very risky and is meant for day trading only, in my mind, whereas the QQQ is more suited for longer term investing. But they've both done very well. The QQQ has made 12% and the TPLQ has made 41%. A November to remember indeed. I also own Super Microcomputer. SMCI, and Rolls-Royce, whose symbol is RYCEY, and they both have done very well. SMCI tends to move up with Nvidia, and Rolls-Royce makes airplane engines. And what have people been doing over Thanksgiving a lot? They've been flying, wearing out those airplane engines. So I think Rolls-Royce is going to do quite well. And during the month of November, Rolls-Royce has done very well. It's done 39%. Wow. And Super Microcomputer did a healthy 19%. So these are winners, and I'm going to hang on to them for the long term if possible. Be sure to give me a break and give me a thumbs up and like the video if it's been helpful at all. I think we're on a good path with the market for now. I think we're going to have a Santa Claus rally, and I think we could well extend this into the new year if the dialogue keeps being that we're having disinflation, and when is the Federal Reserve going to lower interest rates. I think that's a good conversation for a market that's going to rocket forward.
I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there.